this motorcycle rider was apprehended because the passenger doesn't have a helmet, and I think I just heard they're going to give her a helmet. Wow, lucky lady. Although they still do have a ticket, which is the right thing because you're meant to wear a helmet. But wow, KYT ang sakalam!
Thank you so much.
Kung mabababae ha, mas maganda na helmet ng misis mo.
Oh, thank you.
Good morning everyone, MMDA back on the road. Right now they're on 15th Avenue issuing tickets to illegally parked vehicles. And what you'll notice here is the whole sidewalk is obstructed by these parked vehicles. So I expect that all of these will be ticketed. Some of them might get towed. Some drivers have already started to come out, like this sedan over here. So as long as they show a license, they can drive away with just a ticket, which is 1,000 pesos, compared to being towed, which is much more expensive. I quite like the color of this Kia, but it is considered to be illegally parked. Not only is the importer written out the ticket, but the towing crew are on standby in case the driver doesn't come out. Although, I guess that's the driver there, so he can go with just a ticket instead of being impounded, as long as he can show a valid license. This is a common complaint of pedestrians. You're walking along the sidewalk and then it just disappears and becomes VIP parking. You'll see the enforcers are taking photos so that if the violation is contested later, they have clear evidence. There's even a pink line on the floor. I can see it that reminds people of the break between private property and public sidewalk. Although honestly, even without the pink line, you can see that's a sidewalk. You may have noticed there's another vehicle in the background there, which also went on the tow truck. One of the owners of a vehicle on the sidewalk came out and asked if he can move his vehicle into the basement parking instead of having it towed away. I wonder why it wasn't in the basement in the first place. He's not the owner of this vehicle, by the way, it's a different one. You can see this whole area has been cordoned off. I guess most likely to allow the road to set. This looks like a fresh pour. And then there's a parked vehicle. I guess that's why sometimes you see tire marks in a brand new road, because people are driving through even if it's not fully set yet and ready to use. And it's not just cars that are being ticketed, they're also issuing tickets to motorcycles like this, parked on the sidewalk. If we go back to the starting area, you can see the tow bars are already connected to some vehicles. You'll see this little orange car over here was already picked up. I think I saw the owner come out, but by that time it was already connected to the tow truck. Once they start the towing process, they don't release it anymore. How tall is that guy? Oh, he's sitting on a gas canister. Okay, that doesn't seem very safe. I don't think anyone noticed it though. You'll see one tow truck getting ready to pick up that silver one, and then there's another tow truck reversing here to go and pick up another vehicle from the sidewalk. I've seen some people say even a little bit of sidewalk is good enough for pedestrians. Imagine if you're this man who's not so steady on your feet. You really need a proper, clear sidewalk. And it's not just him. There are loads of people, even people who are young, healthy, fit. They can still struggle if they've had a long day at work. They're trying to walk home. The sidewalks are obstructed. They're going up and down, up and down. It really gets tiring. It gets difficult. The owner of this one came out. He is wearing a jacket that says MMDA, but it looks like it's a private company that has some kind of maybe a mower or contract with MMDA. I don't think he's actually MMDA. But regardless, the tow truck's already connected to his car. So they're just advising him if he puts the key in the ignition, he can make it easier to go up on the tow truck. If you compare it to earlier, you can see that slowly but surely the sidewalk is returning. They're just picking up this one now. There's a sign here that says no motorcycle parking. Of course, this is private property, so they have the option to do that. What annoys me is when people put signs like that on the public parking spaces. For example, around Timok area, those parking spaces are owned by the city government on a first come, first served basis. But some people are blocking them off and putting signs that say no motorcycles. How can you do that when it's a public parking space owned by the city government? And you'll see Bong is wearing his hat and his rain jacket, because we have had rain this morning, but it's paused for now, thankfully. And there goes the final car from the sidewalk. and the team are now writing out a ticket to this vehicle on the sidewalk. This is a one-way road, but you often get motorcycles and tricycles counterflowing, so you have to be very careful when crossing, look both ways. Aside from being on the sidewalk, it's on a corner, which means any turning vehicles can have a challenge seeing other vehicles coming. And there you go, you see it's already on the tow truck. And you would really wonder about things like this, obstructing the sidewalk so pedestrians can't get past. But look behind, there's a lot of space. Maybe he's worried that someone would block him in. This motorcycle here was already loaded on the tow truck. I just saw a photo. It was parked on the sidewalk when enforcers arrived. And they're now writing out a ticket to this motorcycle on the sidewalk. Obviously there's no license plate, so they're looking for a chassis number, engine number, something like that. For sale, and now it's sold to the towing crew. The problem they have with this motorcycle is it doesn't have a plate on the back, and the chassis number or engine number appears to be damaged. They took a photo of it and they were trying to read what it says, and it's not easily readable. Either way, it's being impounded now, and then they can check it out closer at the impound. In the past, they have actually detected stolen vehicles that were impounded, and then later they were able to coordinate with the PMP to get it back to the owner. I'm not saying this is a stolen vehicle, I'm just telling you a story from before. You will see a lot of taxis parked on the road and sidewalk overnight because they don't have a garage. I don't know if that's the case with this one, but it is a common problem, even if their franchise requires them to have a garage. And you'll see the towing crew getting ready to pick up this one, very close to the Barangay hall over there, Barangay Socorro. I think that lady's trying to get the attention of whoever owns this vehicle. They might still be asleep. Even if they come out now, I think it's going to be too late because the towing crew have already connected at the back. The team are now on 13th Avenue. All the drivers have come running out. There's a one-side parking ordinance, meaning they can't park on this side, but they can park on that side. There are many signs all along the road that say park along this side only. And of course there are signs like this, no parking this side. Although even if there's a one-side parking ordinance, you still can't park on the sidewalk. So they're asking now this driver for his license, and they will issue a ticket for illegal parking. This driver just came out now. The enforcers already started writing out the ticket for illegal parking. So they'll ask for his license before he drives away. Did you see what he just pointed at? He said he's going to take it in here. Because look, it's a lot that's designed for parking. And there are a lot of vehicles all along this road that are being ticketed. What's he pointing at? What is he seeing? So there's a note on the windscreen. I guess that's probably from a neighbor. I do see that a lot of properties along this road have their own gates. They have their own garage. And it looks like the driver just came running out now. They will ask for the license to issue a ticket before he leaves. And over here you'll see the towing crew hooking up to this one. They'll take this away to Tamana, Marikina City. And just in front of where those cars are being towed away, there's another paid parking lot. One of the residents said it's $3,500 per month if you want to rent a space inside here. That's what I said before. A lot of empty lots were converted to paid parking once the government started their clearing operations. Same thing over here. There's a motorcycle on the sidewalk and a half-naked man. As long as he shows a license, it's only a ticket. And I think this tricycle might end up being impounded because no one's able or willing to show a license. Maybe they have a driver that's not here, but if someone can't show a license, it ends up being impounded. This tricycle was flagged down for multiple violations: no mirrors, no plate, no shoes. There was a small child sitting at the front of the bike, which isn't allowed. And when they asked for a driver's license, he said he doesn't have one. So they're waiting for the tow truck to come in and pick it up now. There's another lot over here that has been converted to parking. There's no one nearby for me to ask how much it is. But obviously you can see there's a lot of parking if you're willing to pay. The problem is a lot of people are not willing to pay. And over here they wrote out a ticket to this Mini Cooper. Illegal parking, unattended, 2,000 pesos. If the tow truck comes in, they also have to pay the towing fees on top of that. You'll see people walking in the road here because the sidewalk's obstructed. This van was already ticketed and impounded at 6 a.m. this morning because there was no driver. It's now 8:30 a.m. and it's parked in the exact same place. So they went to the impound, they paid their penalties, got the vehicle back, and then parked it here again. So now they're being given another ticket. And there's also 2 more vehicles being ticketed over here. It's considered a school zone, so of course enforcement is going to be a lot hotter right now. So this is an unusual situation. This motorcycle taxi is being ticketed because this passenger wasn't wearing her helmet. It was actually inside the box at the back. They said they forgot. And back on 13th Avenue, this is one side parking. No driver to take a ticket and move this vehicle, so it's going on the back of the tow truck. The team are now on 14th Avenue issuing tickets to all of these vehicles for obstructing the sidewalk, partially obstructing the road. A lot of these were already ticketed before, so they already know the drill. If you look here, you'll see a fire hydrant, and directly in front of it is a motorcycle, which is obviously not allowed, plus it's a sidewalk. And it's the same with this tricycle. It's parked right next to the fire hydrant, so it is being issued a ticket for illegal parking. Even if there's a one-side parking ordinance, you cannot obstruct access to a fire hydrant. You have to stay a certain distance. And you'll see that motorcycle is actually being impounded, loaded on the tow truck. One of the residents was complaining. She said they should remove vehicles like this that are just left here and never actually driven. And actually, I agree with her. Barangays have a one-side parking ordinance for the convenience of residents, not to dump vehicles that aren't being used anymore. So Bong just spoke to the Barangay traffic enforcer, and he told him, if you put it in writing that you want this removed, we'll remove it. But otherwise, it's allowed to park there because you created a one-side parking ordinance saying people can park here. And the team just moved on to the next street. It is a one-side parking again. They're allowed on the right side, but they're not allowed on the left side. There's actually a lot of cars parked along here, so I'm guessing at least one or two end up being towed. And this is a little unusual, brick construction like that. Looks good, looks nice. The driver of this red one suddenly came out and jumped in his car, so they're asking for his license. The ticket's 1,000 peso if you show your license, compared to if there's no driver, it's 2,000 pesos and you're going to pay extra for towing. This vehicle has a sticker that says Senate of the Philippines, but then it also has a plaque for a private company. That's the reality with stickers, anyone can buy them. And again, there are motorcycles on the sidewalk. Some of them haven't been noticed yet, so they might get moved before enforcers get to them. It looks like a driver already came out for this Altis before he got hooked up to the tow truck, so that would just be a ticket. According to nearby residents, this car's been here for at least 4 days with a flat tire, illegally parked. It looks like inside is some kind of parking area. I just don't know if it's paid parking that anyone can use or if it's private. It's pretty cool, a little forest in the middle of Barangay Socorro. And actually there's no plate on the front of this vehicle either. The team are now on 5th Avenue. They always ticket and tow a lot of vehicles here. A lot of them come from a nearby condo. There are signs reminding people that no parking is allowed. Many of these drivers in the past have said they don't want to pay for parking inside the condo because it's too expensive. Some drivers have come out though, so they'll just get a ticket. The others will get towed away if there's no driver. I can see in the distance that one of them's even on the sidewalk. So they're taking even more space than the last time we were here. You see this one here, and then pedestrians will have to go past, hope that the garbage truck doesn't squash them when they go into the road. I think the last time we were here, the rider said it's 1,500 per month to park a motorcycle inside the condo, which seems pretty reasonable to me, because a ticket for illegal parking unattended is 2,000 pesos. Plus, if it gets towed, that's 1,000 for a motorcycle. They do receive a lot of complaints about illegal parking in this area because many residents are worried if there's a fire, none of the trucks will be able to get down the street. All of these vehicles parked on the sidewalk are also getting tickets, and they're also going to write out a ticket to that one. I think it might have been ticketed before, but I cannot be 100% sure. This one has a really nice license plate, although I can't show you because obviously I blur plates. Anyway, the ticket's been left under the windscreen wiper. One more over here, being ticketed for illegal parking on the sidewalk. They won't have enough tow trucks for all of these. There's also a lot of motorcycles parked at the end, although I've not seen any tickets issued yet. Maybe once they're finished with all the other vehicles. Another thing I just realized is that's actually obstructing the gate. And if there's a fire, more likely the fire trucks are going to want to get inside there. No wonder people keep complaining about this area.